Imagine a time before writing, before cities, before civilization itself. Now imagine beings descending from the stars with knowledge that would take humans thousands of years to discover on their own. Mathematics, astronomy, agriculture, architecture. The ancient Sumerians called them the Anunnaki. We called them gods. But what if they were neither divine nor myth? 5,000 years ago, in the cradle of Mesopotamia, a civilization emerged, seemingly out of nowhere. The Sumerians appeared with fully formed writing systems, complex mathematics, and astronomical knowledge that wouldn't be rediscovered until the Renaissance. They built ziggurats that aligned perfectly with celestial bodies. They calculated the length of the lunar month to within seconds of modern measurements. They described planets invisible to the naked eye. And in their clay tablets, they left us a story of the Anunnaki, beings who came from the heavens to shape humanity itself. Most scholars dismiss it as mythology. But standing in the ruins of Ur, beneath stars that watched the birth of civilization, one question refuses to stay buried. What if the Sumerians weren't writing myths? What if they were writing history? Let's start with what we know and what doesn't add up. The Sumerian king list describes rulers who reigned for thousands of years before the flood. It states that kingship itself descended from heaven. Modern archaeologists treat this as symbolic, but the Sumerians themselves? They recorded it like fact, alongside perfectly accurate astronomical data. They knew about Uranus and Neptune, planets we didn't discover until the 18th and 19th centuries with telescopes. They described our solar system with a sophistication that shouldn't exist in the Bronze Age. The Enuma Elish, their creation epic, describes planetary formation with disturbing accuracy. Colliding celestial bodies, the creation of Earth through cosmic catastrophe. Modern astrophysics confirms planetary formation happens through violent collisions of protoplanetary bodies. Coincidence? Perhaps. But coincidences are piling up like ziggurat stones. Then there's Göbekli Tepe in Turkey, built 11,600 years ago, 7,000 years before Stonehenge, 6,000 years before writing should even exist. Massive T-shaped pillars arranged in circles aligned with constellations. The problem? Hunter-gatherers supposedly built this. People with no agriculture, no cities, no complex social organization. Yet someone or something taught them architecture, engineering, and astronomy. According to Sumerian texts, the Anunnaki came from a planet called Nibiru, traveling through our solar system on an elongated orbit every 3,600 years. They arrived on Earth mining for resources, specifically gold, which they needed to save their dying atmosphere. Sound like science fiction? Consider this. We're currently exploring asteroid mining for precious metals.
NASA and private companies are developing technology to extract resources from celestial bodies. We're planning to terraform Mars by altering its atmosphere. We're becoming the Anunnaki. The texts say these beings created humans as a workforce through genetic engineering, mixing their DNA with early hominids. The Sumerian word for human, Adamu, means earthling or one made from clay. But in context, it might mean something else, a genetically modified species. Modern genetics reveals something startling. 200,000 years ago, Homo sapiens underwent a sudden evolutionary leap. Our brain capacity exploded. Our cognitive abilities skyrocketed. The mutation happened too fast, too coordinated to fit standard evolutionary models. Scientists call it the cognitive revolution. The Sumerians called it the gift of the gods. The Anunnaki allegedly established kingship to organize human civilization. They taught agriculture, metallurgy, law, and mathematics. Every ancient culture from Egypt to Central America describes similar sky beings bringing knowledge from the stars. The Egyptians spoke of beings from the stars of Orion. The Maya described Kukulkan descending from the heavens. The Hindu texts describe Vimanas, flying machines with technical specifications that sound eerily like spacecraft. Different cultures, different continents, same story.
Then, according to the texts, something changed. The Anunnaki stopped intervening directly. They withdrew, leaving humanity to its own devices. Why? Perhaps their mission was complete. Perhaps they returned to Nibiru on its elliptical journey through space. Or perhaps, and this is the darkest possibility, they're still here, watching, waiting for humanity to reach a certain level of technological development before making contact again. The Sumerians describe a great flood sent to wipe out humanity, a reset button when the experiment went wrong. Nearly every ancient culture has a flood myth. Geological evidence confirms massive flooding events around 11,000 years ago. Coincidence? Or catastrophe management?
Were the Anunnaki real? Were they extraterrestrial engineers who jump-started human civilization? The evidence doesn't prove it, but it doesn't disprove it either. We stand at a unique moment in human history. We're becoming spacefaring ourselves. We're developing genetic engineering. We're planning to seed life on other worlds. We're becoming ancient astronauts to future civilizations. Maybe the Anunnaki story isn't about the past. Maybe it's about the future. A mirror showing us what we're destined to become. Or maybe, just maybe, it's a memory, a whisper from our forgotten history, preserved in myth, encoded in stone, waiting for us to become wise enough to understand what we've always been told. The gods were engineers, and their greatest creation was us. If you want to explore more cosmic mysteries that challenge everything you thought you knew about our origins, subscribe to Myths of the Cosmos. The truth isn't out there, it's buried here, waiting to be unearthed. Until next time, look up, They might be looking back